My sister vanished 10 years ago. Then she showed up at my wedding. The day had finally arrived. It was warm and sunny, the kind of perfect day you dream about for a wedding. I stood in the garden of my childhood home, which had been transformed with white flowers and twinkling fairy lights for the occasion. My parents were thrilled, and the atmosphere was filled with laughter and eager anticipation as friends and family gathered to celebrate the love between Daniel and me. But as I paced nervously in my wedding gown, I felt a familiar weight in my heart, a lingering absence that haunted me. My sister, Claire, had vanished 10 years ago without a trace, leaving my family shattered. We had searched for her, filed reports, and prayed for her return, but as the months turned into years, the hope had faded, replaced by a profound emptiness that still lingered. "Are you ready?" Mom asked, smoothing my dress and smiling, but I could see her own pain bubbling beneath the surface. We had all learned to cope with Claire's disappearance, but we never truly healed. "I think so," I replied, forcing a smile as I tried to push my thoughts aside. The ceremony began, and I walked down the aisle, everything else blurring into the background as I focused on Daniel's warm smile. He looked dapper in his suit, and as we exchanged vows, I felt as though nothing could go wrong. This was my moment, the culmination of years of love and friendship. But just as we were about to say, "I do," a figure emerged from the crowd, and my heart sank. I squinted into the sunlight and felt my breath catch in my throat. "Claire," I gasped, my voice barely a whisper. It was her, standing there, looking older and worn, but unmistakably my sister. The guests murmured in surprise, and the ceremony came to an abrupt halt. "What are you doing here?" I rushed toward her, my heart racing with a mix of joy and confusion. "I came back," she said, tears welling in her eyes. "I didn't know how to face you, but I had to be here." "I'm so sorry." Daniel looked bewildered, his brow creasing in confusion as he took a step closer. "Who is she?" he asked, the panic clear in his voice. "Claire, my sister. She vanished 10 years ago." I revealed, feeling a flood of emotions wash over me. The crowd buzzed with disbelief, and Claire's presence brought up reminders of the heartache we had all endured. "Wait," I said, panic rising. "Where have you been? Why didn't you come back sooner?" I was in a difficult situation. "I was scared and didn't know how to come home," Claire explained, brushing away tears. "I thought about you every day. Is that all you have to say after 10 years? I shot back, the hurt spilling over. "You left us to wonder if you were dead or alive." "I know it's hard to understand," she said, her voice trembling. "But I promise I can explain everything. Just, please let me talk to you." A tension hung in the air, and Daniel looked torn. "This isn't the time, Claire," he said firmly. "You just can't show up like this and expect everything to be okay." "But it's not just about you two," Claire argued, desperation creeping into her voice. "I need to fix what I broke. I want to explain everything." As the heated exchange simmered, I turned to Daniel, who looked increasingly uncomfortable. "I'll be right back," I said, breaking away from him and leading Claire to a quieter corner of the garden, away from curious onlookers. "Please," I said, my voice softening. "Just tell me what happened." Claire took a deep breath, her emotions pouring out. "I was involved with someone who wasn't good for me. He got aggressive, and I had to leave. I didn't want you or Mom and Dad to get hurt because of my choices." My heart raced. "So you disappeared? You could have called." "I know," she whispered, shame etched on her face. "But I was terrified. I thought you'd be better off without me. I was too ashamed of what I'd done." As she spoke, I couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal mixed with relief. I had missed her, but the anger still bubbled within me. "And what about now? You come back on the most important day of my life, expecting me to just forgive you." "I didn't want to ruin your wedding," Claire said, tears flowing freely. "I was going to wait, but I couldn't bear to miss it. You're my sister. I love you." "Love?" I questioned, feeling a whirlwind of emotions. "Love doesn't make someone disappear for a decade. It doesn't abandon family. Just then, I noticed Daniel approaching, his frown deepening as he overheard our conversation. "Is everything okay?" he asked, concern lacing his voice. I turned back to Claire, torn between my love for her and the complicity of her actions that had shattered my family. "We'll talk later," I said, trying to maintain some semblance of composure. Claire nodded, understanding the weight of the moment. "Just know that I'm here to make it right," she said softly. As I walked back towards the altar, a storm of emotions raged within me. I felt Michael's hand slip into mine, grounding me. "You okay?" he asked, his gaze searching mine. I forced a smile, but the uncertainty twisted in my gut. "Not really," I admitted, feeling the tension settle like a heavy veil over my heart. The rest of the ceremony felt surreal, as if I were floating above my own life, watching it all unfold. Vows were exchanged, yet all I could think about was the sister I had loved and lost, now standing just outside my grasp. After the ceremony, as guests began to celebrate, I needed air. I slipped away for a moment of solitude, but as I found a quiet corner, my phone pinged with a message. It was from Claire. "Please, let me explain. I need you to understand." I felt my heart racing as I typed back, "I don't know if I can right now." Just then, Daniel appeared. "There you are. Everyone's looking for you," he said, concern etched on his brow. "Did you mean what you said during the ceremony?" I asked, desperate for reassurance. "Of course. I love you," he replied, but doubt crept into my mind as I remembered his initial surprise at Claire's return. "But do you really trust me?" I asked, feeling vulnerable. "Can we move forward knowing my sister is back?" "Trust goes both ways," he said, his tone earnest. "If she hurt you, she's going to have to prove herself." The weight of those words hung in the air between us. I didn't want to think about what Claire's return meant for our relationship, but I knew I couldn't ignore it. "I need time," I replied, feeling tears threaten to spill over. "Let's take it one step at a time," he encouraged, pulling me into a warm embrace. As we returned to the celebration, music thrummed through the garden, laughter intermingling with the sweet scents of flowers. But my mind remained clouded, a storm of emotions roiling beneath the surface. Claire mingled among the guests, and I felt torn between joy at her return and the memories of pain she represented. Daniel and I danced, but even as we laughed, I could feel Claire watching from across the room, her eyes searching for connection with me. As the night deepened and the stars sparkled above, I couldn't shake the feeling that the path ahead would be complicated. Claire's return had opened a door I wasn't sure I was ready to step through, leaving me spiraling between concern for my sister and unwavering love for my soon-to-be husband. And deep down, I knew everything was about to change, the love I had thought was unbreakable now hanging by the thinnest of threads.